Welcome back to the Healing Fungal and Parasite Infections video e-course with my main man, Mr. Paul Chek of the Chek Institute. Paul, we left off talking about the first steps to healing of fungal infections. So we're going to talk more about that, but you're also going to give our audience their best tips, or your best tips for healing an infection. What's that?
Yeah, so what I'll do is to continue, we talked about the importance of having a dream, motive, or a goal for healing from any pathology or illness, including a fungal and parasite infection. We talked about two forces that have to be balanced, which can be looked at through the eyes of the 6 foundation principles that we all have to be aware of to be healthy. I said 3 of them were yin. Nutrition in general is wet and nourishing and helps grow the body. Hydration, yin, water, cooling. Sleep, yin, drawing energy in. Breathing, oxygen, excites the system. Metabolism, fire, right? Thinking, about 68,000 thoughts a day or the average person thinks, and according to research, about 90% of them are negative. So there's kind of a yang divisional destructive energy. And movement, most people's concept of exercise is work out, if no pain, no gain. So there's predominantly yang energy. And people that don't do enough exercise actually get so weak that even walking across the yard becomes exhausting. As a matter of fact, I found research that looked at people in doctors' offices and found 50% of patients seeing doctors hit their lactate threshold walking from the waiting room to the examination room.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Wow.
So, my point is that person's now working out just to walk from one room to the next room. So if a person's not conscious of how they use exercise, which I teach in my book, How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy, they will actually take what looks like a sedentary or a yin kind of doing nothing activity, and it turns out to be quite yang and overheating and destructive to the body. So we had nutrition, hydration, sleep, breathing, thinking, and moving. Whenever you have a fungal infection, you've got choices to make. Remember, they're opportunistic organisms. So that we've got to make intelligent choices so that the opportunity is not so great for them. If the environment stays favorable for the fungus or the parasite, naturally they're not going to leave, right? If you keep feeding a predator or a parasite, it has no reason to go anywhere.
Regardless of how many medications you take.
You can take medications till the cows come home. These things lay eggs and have protective mechanisms, all sorts of them. And the other thing is, this is a key thing to remember, which I highlight in the program, there's between 400 and 1,000 parasites based on different researchers that are known to infect the human body. Most physicians only test for 10 to 12 of them. Some of the newer test centers are getting higher in numbers. But you can pass all sorts of parasite tests and still have a serious parasite or fungal infection. Funguses are notoriously hard to treat because they're eukaryotes, so their cells are so close to ours, any drug that we'd use to attack the fungus puts you at high risk of killing yourself.
I remember that, yeah.
Right?
DVD set.
So we've got choices to make. There's only 3 choices you can make in relationship to any person, place, or thing when you whittle it all down to the basics. One is the optimal choice. So whenever you got a fungal infection or a parasite infection, you need to make the choice that's optimal with regard to the situation you have at hand. What is the optimal thing to feed me, but not the bug? What is the optimal thing to feed me that the bug won't like, right? That would be an optimal choice. A suboptimal choice is the second option. That means usually getting instant gratification, but making a diversion from the dream direction or the GPS coordinates or the goal or motive or objective, right? So if you got a bad fungal infection, but you make a suboptimal choice, tonight I'm going to go out to my friend's birthday party and I'm going to eat a bunch of cake and drink soda pop, you can lose 1 or 2 months worth of progress in one night if you overdo it like that.
Because that's what the bugs like to eat, right?
Yes, and
sugar.
Their favorite food is any processed sugar. The more processed it is, the better they like it. It's just like rocket fuel for them. So you've got to make choices that are affirmative of your dream to heal, and also affirmative of what you need to do to eradicate the fungal infection. The third choice is to do nothing. Do nothing is got two components. One, to be apathetic and not care. Anyone who's got a fungal or a parasite infection who is apathetic about it is likely to end up with some kind of a much greater health problem, like a disease.
Right.
The other component of doing nothing is calling a timeout and saying, I need more information to make an intelligent decision, which is what a program like this is. How do I get the information I need, which is why there's 4 DVDs.
And it's too bad they can't get the information from their doctors, which is really unfortunate.
It's unfortunate, but we all have to, the blessing of it is that the medical system has given us the opportunity to start taking responsibility for ourselves. We often want to give our problems away to doctors or sell them. If I pay the doctor $250, he's going to make my life better. But we never really learn about how to live that way. So as out of balance as the medical system is, the hidden gift is that we are now squarely responsible for taking care of ourselves, and doctors should be used for emergencies, not because of laziness or not caring. Okay? So you've got to make an optimal choice consistently, or your bugs are going to win the battle. Okay? If the choices that you make as optimal don't decrease the likelihood of them surviving, then you're never going to heal. So we've got 1 love, 2 forces, 3 choices: optimal, suboptimal, do nothing. Do nothing, apathy, not good. Do nothing, need more information. Buy the DVD set and get all the information you need. Then there's 4 doctors. So we have to look, to heal a fungal or a parasite infection, we have to look very carefully, openly, and honestly at what I call Dr. Quiet. Remember, in Latin, doctor means teacher. So these are your inner teachers. These are your own inner voice speaking to you. Sean, when you're tired, do you need someone else to tell you that you're tired?
No, I know that I'm tired.
There's a voice inside you that says, get off the dance floor, quit working, go lay down, you're tired. And if you keep going, you're going to feel like crap and get yourself a parasite infection,
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
Nobody needs to tell Sean when his body needs to move. All he's got to do is listen, right? Nobody needs to tell Sean when he's hungry. And Sean, if he listens, knows when he's eating things that are favorable for being a healthy, good-looking Sean versus an unhealthy, not so great looking Sean, right? We all know that road. And there's something inside of Sean that always tells him when he's happy doing what he loves to do and when he's not happy doing what he loves to do in any kind of professional or personal relationship. The point is, the 4 doctors represent the voice that's already inside you. You don't need to go to a doctor to get told these things. You just need to pay attention and know what the basics of health are. So in the program, I cover these absolute essentials. How much rest, sleep, or introspection or self-time do I need to keep myself happy, healthy, and sane? How much movement or what actions do I need to take to cultivate the right amount of energy to balance my body and make myself resistant to funguses and parasites? What food and water do I need that is going to support my body but not the bugs? And what dream do I have that's big enough to establish healthy values so that I live with quiet diet, movement, and happiness in a way that the bugs won't keep eating me? Yeah. So that right there is something essential for anyone with a fungal or parasite infection. If that's not in place, all the drugs in the world do nothing but make drug manufacturers rich.
In the previous video, you said 90% of people out there have fungal or parasite infections.
Yeah.
This is it. I mean, if you think about it, people are sleep deprived. They're
Yep.
eating processed food.
Yep.
They're not moving. They have no dream at all, no purpose in their
They're
life.
just working
This is why
for money.
These things run rampant.
Yep, that's it.
Nuts.
This is, if you don't have these 4 things right here, which you have to have these to have those, you're a constant supply of money for the medical system for the rest of your life. And all that money that you're spending on drugs could be being used for vacations, education, stuff that really enriches your life. And instead, what do? We spend something like $14 million a minute on medical drugs in this country, which is just...
Healthcare.
Yeah, healthcare.
We need to invest in self-care.
Yeah, healthcare needs to become self-care. This is self-care.
We've got time for one more tip. Got anything for us?
Well, my first tip for you on regards just strictly off of this is remember that any kind of processed sugar is a fungal and a parasite feeder. So if you're eating anything that's processed, remember, sugar's not just sugar. White flour is sweeter than sugar on the glycemic index. So it goes right back to the 4 white devils. Those 4 white devils: processed sugar, white flour, pasteurized white milk, and sodium chloride, table salt. Those 4 white devils will set you up for fungal and parasite infections. So your first step is remove your 4 white devils.
Yeah, I love it. In the DVD set, you literally lay out the foods not to eat and the foods that people should eat.
We go into pretty great comprehension on giving you what you should avoid, what's acceptable. So there's a fair bit of information in there, and I presented the information so I felt so that a 12-year-old could understand it, yet it's rich enough in content for a medical professional.
Great stuff with Paul Chek. Don't forget about this stuff. This stuff is so incredibly important. So check out the DVD set at the link right there, and we'll see you with the next video.